Hi guys, my name is Sitati and this is Yarn O'Clock by Sitati. Welcome to another video. Thank you to those who are new and also thank you to those who are returning. Remember to subscribe, like, share, comment and turn on the post notification bell. On today's video we are going to learn how to make a hair tie that is bow shaped. So a bow hair tie. You're going to need a pair of scissors, you're going to need a darning needle, you're going to need a crochet hook, and I'm using 2.5 millimeters hook. In that case you are going to need some stitch markers and you're also going to need yarn. In this case I am using lightweight yarn, 50 grams. This is 100% acrylic, but you can use any yarn of your type or of your liking. Just make sure that you have the right size of the hook. Today I am going to use a double strand yarn because I have run out of my medium weight yarn. So let us begin. We are going to start by making a slip knot. So we have our slip knot there, and once we have a slip knot we are going to chain up to, let's do 55. So this will just depend on the size of the bow that you want. You can do 50, you can do 60, you can do 30, depending on the size of the bow that you have. So for me I am going to do 55, a total of 55. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're just making a chain out of single crochets, okay? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's meet once we have a chain of 55. So we have 50 and we're going to finish with the last 5. So 51, 52, 53, 54 and 55. So onto now the row, first row. You're going to, of course, turn your work, and after you turn your work you are going to skip the first chain and you're going to have double crochet up to the end of this chain. So skip this, and then yarn over and go into the next chain and make a half double crochet. So pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on your hook, and then yarn over and pull through all the 3, yarn over, go into the next chain, pull up the yarn, you have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through the 3, yarn over, go into the next loop, pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all the 3. So the last one, yarn over, go into the next chain and pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook, 1, 2 and 3, yarn over and pull through the 3. Okay, so that is how you make half double crochets. So tell me in the comment section, what color of yarn are you using? Are you also using a double strand yarn like I am, or are you using the single stranded of probably medium weight or another type of yarn as well? You could be using cotton, you could be using acrylic like I am, or you could be using a combination of cotton and acrylic. Let me know. Thank you for the 226 of you who have subscribed so far. I am so grateful to you guys. Let's meet once we are at the end of this tail. We are coming to the end of this row, so let's just finish it off with another half double crochet. So once we are done with that row, we are going to the next row, and in this case you're going to chain 1 that way, and then you will turn your work, and on row 2 you're also going to do half double crochets all through up to the end of the video. Actually, this is what you're going to do for the next about 8 rows. Okay, so it will depend on the height that you want or the thickness that you want for your bows. You can go up to 7 rows, 9 rows, 8 rows, etc. But let's continue until row 7 first, and then I'll let you know. So once we have turned our work, we're going to yarn over, go into the next loop, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on the hook and pull through 3. So see you when we're at row 7. Another thing to remember, anytime you finish your work, chain 1, or anytime you finish the row, chain 1 and turn your work and continue. We are coming to the end of row 7, and I think this is just a good height for a bow tie. So if you want, you can even go up to 10 depending on how big you want your bow tie to be. I'm satisfied with this size, and this is what we're going with. Please let me know how yours came out. Remember, you can always use stitch markers so that you have a uniform row that does not slant. Okay, so this is what we have, and the next step is to join these two together. So we're going to join these sides together, and I'll use some yarn to do so. We just sew them together loosely. So make sure they are matching in terms of the height. You do not want it to look, so that's what we have. So make sure it is loose, okay, so that when you pull the yarn together, it becomes easy to make a bow shape out of it. I really hope it's visible. So these are my 2 loose ends, so don't get confused. I just decided not to trim off my yarn, but you can trim off the yarn that you are using, and this is the yarn that I've just added this. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'll trim off this yarn first of all, and once you trim it off, you're going to pull it. Make sure you fasten on this other end. Okay, so just pull it. You hold one side and you pull the other side. So that's what I'm saying. You hold one side, you fasten the other, you pull the other side. So this is the shape that we are going for. Okay, let me just cut off this yarn so that I can make it easy for you. So this is the tail from the yarn that we are using to make the rows. I don't want to get you confused, so let me just cut it off first. Okay, and then we are going to fasten it. So let me just fasten this yarn from what we are using on the rows. So this is the additional yarn, and we've already pulled it. Okay, so this is how it looks. So after that, you just make sure that it is at the center. You can either measure it using a tape measure, or you can just estimate. So that's what we have. So after that, this is what you're going to do. Just hold your bow this way and then tie your yarn around it. See, it's very simple. Just tie your yarn around it. Because this is a short one as well, I'll just fasten it off. Let me fasten it off from this end. Okay, so we're going to fasten it off. I hope you can be able to follow what I'm doing. It's very, very simple. So let me fasten it twice just to make it more tight, and then we can add more yarn. You can separate this yarn from the darning needle, and you can keep tying with more and more yarn. You want it to look as realistic as possible. Okay, as realistic as possible. Make sure that any ends that are loose are being tied here. You just want it to appear neat. Anytime you are about to reach the end, remember, you can always fasten it off, or you can just tie add more yarn. So in my case, I'm going to add more yarn, so I'll just fasten it together and I'm going to tie more and more around it. So let's keep tying it. Please make sure it is neat. Make sure it is neat. Which side should I use? Let me know how yours is coming along, and let me know the choice of color that you took, that you picked, and do you think this is something that you can make at home? Keep subscribing, like, share and comment. Let me know if you find this video useful, and subscribe as well. We are heading to 500 subscribers. We are currently at 226, and it's my prayer and hope that you're going to join this family even as you watch. I think this is enough. So after this, you're just going to cut our yarn and tie it off. So let's tie it off from the back side. So this is after we have done a second tying. Just fasten it off. This is what we have. So the next process or the next step is to make the tails. So this is how we are going to do the tails. You're going to make a slip knot. So just make sure it is, let me change my hook just a minute. I was using a 2.5 millimeter hook. So make sure you have your slip knot and just pull it such that it's not too tight or too loose. So after that, you're going to chain 2. So 1 and 2. Okay, so we have chained 2. So after chaining 2, the next thing is to begin our rows. So for row 1, we're going to skip this chain 1. Okay, so we're going to skip the first chain or the first loop, and then we're going to make an increase by having 2 half double crochets in the next loop or the next chain. So yarn over, skip the nearest loop to the hook and insert your hook into that first chain. Okay, make sure you have inserted in both of them. Let me just repeat, sometimes it can be slippery. Okay, so after you've inserted your hook, you're going to pull so that you have 3 loops on the hook. So you're going to yarn over and pull through all the 3. That is the half double crochet. Add another half double crochet to the same. So yarn over and insert your hook into the same loop. Then pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook. And after this, you're going to yarn over and pull through all the 3. So that's the second half double crochet. So for row 2, you're going to chain 1, turn your work. So this is how we were, and this is how we are going to turn it to the other side. So you're going to yarn over and make sure that you have 2 half double crochets in the first loop. So yarn over so that you have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through yarn over, pull through the 3. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up the loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook, then yarn over, pull through all the 2. Okay, all the 3, sorry. So for the last chain that we have, the last loop, we're just going to do 1 half double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook, then pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook and pull through all the 3. So you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. It's that simple. Okay, so for row 3, you're going to make sure that you have 1 half double crochet in the next 2. So yarn over, pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all the 3. Okay, so on the next one you're going to also make 1/2 double crochet. So yarn over, go into the next loop, pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook, then yarn over and pull through the 3. All right, so in the last one now we are going to make sure that we have an increase. Okay, so yarn over, go into the last loop, yarn over, pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook, then yarn over, pull through the 3, yarn over again, go into the same loop, pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook, and yarn over, pull through the 3. Okay, so that is what we have. Remember, we want to make a shape that is going upward. It's like an inverted triangle at some point. Okay, so I do not know if you are able to notice a pattern, but what is happening here is, remember, row 1 we were finishing off with an increase, row 2 we were starting off with an increase, and then the rest were having only 1/2 double crochet. Row 3 we were finishing off with an increase. Row 4 we were starting off with an increase, and then the rest had 1. I hope that is understood. So the odd number of rows like 1, 3, 5, 7, etc. will finish off with an increase. The even number of rows will start with an increase. I hope that's understood. So just continue so that you'll be able to see. So we've done 1, 2, and 3 so far. Okay, so this is row 4. You're going to chain 1 and then turn your work. So after turning your work, because it's an even row, you're going to have an increase first in the first loop. So we're going to have 2 half double crochets in this first loop. So yarn over, pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook, then pull through the 3, make another one, yarn over, pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook, and then pull through the 3. So that means the remaining ones will have 1 double crochet, 1/2 double crochet in each loop. So you're just going to repeat that. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook, and then pull through 3, and then to the last one, yarn over, go into the next loop, yarn over so that you have 3 loops on the hook, pull through all the 3. So after this you're going to chain 1. Now we are going to row 5. So keep alternating the pattern. Turn on the post notification bell so that you'll get notified whenever I upload a video. This is the second last one. So on to the last one, yarn over, go into the last loop, pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook, and then pull through the 3 and make another half double crochet in the same. So that's what we have. So let's repeat this until we are at row 9. Okay, in case you have a problem with balancing the edges and keeping it straight, always remember that a stitch marker will always come in handy. Okay, if you do not have a stitch marker, you can tie the end, that particular loop that is at the end, with a piece of yarn. So once we are done with row 9, the next thing that you're going to do is to chain 1 as I have done, and then we're going to turn our work. So from row 10 to 24, because I don't want it to be too long, so row 10 to 24, we're just going to do 1/2 double crochet in each stitch. Okay, so yarn over, go into the first stitch, pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook, then pull through the 3, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook, then pull through the 3. So half double crochets all through. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Okay, so you have 10 half double crochets on this row, that is on row 10. So chain 1 and turn your work. So this is what we're going to repeat up to row 24. So there is no increase, there's no decrease for the next 24 rows. So that means the next 20, by next 24 I mean between row 10 to 24 there's no increase or decrease. I really hope you are getting what we are saying at this point. Let me please let me know what your favorite yarn is. Are you a new crocheter? Do you enjoy knitting instead? Do you do both? Is this something that you can consider doing full-time or part-time or just as a hobby? So let's meet once we are at row 24. So we are now at row 24 and now we are going to row 25. So you're going to chain 1, and after chaining 1 we are going to turn our work. So in this case we are going to make a decrease or decreases in the following rows. Okay, so what we're going to do is to make a decrease, and remember the decrease should be actually on the same side as the increase. Okay, so let me see if this will make sense. So because they're supposed to be on the same side, what we are going to do, we'll just have to add another row first. Okay, so we'll have to add another row of half double crochets first, so that we have decreases on the same side as the increases. Keep subscribing and let us reach 500 subscribers. Also comment what you want to see next. We are done with row 25 and we're going to chain 1 and then turn our work. So at this point we are going to make a decrease first and then 1 half double crochet in the next stitches or in the next loop. So how are we doing this decrease? You're going to yarn over, go into the first loop, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on the hook. Okay, so yarn over, go into the next loop and pull up a loop. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 loops on the hook, and then you're going to pull through all the 5. Okay, so that is our decrease. All right, so after this you're going to make 1 half double crochet in the remaining stitches. So that is the second one, third. You're going to repeat what I've taught you how to do, the previous half double crochets. So you should have a total of 9 stitches in this row. Just be careful and ensure that you are crocheting into 2 loops and not 1. Okay, so let me count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Yes, there are 9. Okay, so we are going to chain 1, turn our work, and then 1 half double crochet in each stitch, and towards the end that's when we're going to place a decrease. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook. Just remember to avoid confusion, whenever you reach you just look at the direction of the decrease. So like in this case the decrease is towards the end, that means we're going to decrease towards the end. So the previous stitches are going to just have 1 half double crochet in each. Then remember, because the decrease is supposed to join 2 stitches together, here is where you need to be careful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many stitches did we have? So remember, you're going to join the last 2 stitches. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Here there was supposed to be 7 stitches, so that means row 6 and stitch 6 and 7 will be joined together. 1 2 3 4. So let's do the 5th one. Let's join stitch 6 and 7 together. Yarn over, pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch and then pull up a loop. Now you have 5 loops on the hook, and then you just yarn over and pull through all the 5. I hope that's understood. So chain 1 and turn your work. So because the decrease is on this side before we start our row, then that means you're going to have your decrease start here. So the alternation will just be starting with the decrease and ending with the decrease. So one row starts with the decrease, the next row will end with the decrease. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and go into the next stitch, pull up a loop so that you have 1 2 3 4 and 5 loops on the hook. Okay, yarn over and pull through all the 5. Okay, and after that then you're going to make 1 half double crochet in the remaining stitches. So chain 1 and turn your work. In short, we're going to make half double crochets, 1 half double crochets until we have 2 loops that are remaining. So 2 stitches. So when you have 2 stitches, that's when you do a decrease. So this is the 3rd one. We have this stitch and this one. So in this case, you're going to insert your hook, pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook, pull up a loop again and insert your hook in the next loop. You have 5 and pull through the 5. So chain 1 and turn your work. It's not difficult, okay? So because the decrease is at the start of this row, we're also going to do a decrease as we begin. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook, and yarn over, insert your hook into the next loop and pull up a loop. You have 5 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through. After you pull through the 5, yarn over into the remaining stitch, then pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook and you have pulled through 2. In short, make the remaining half double crochet. So yarn over into the last one, insert your hook, pull up a loop so you have 2 loops on the hook. This is what we have. Chain 1 and turn your work. So we have 2 stitches that are remaining. Sometimes it's difficult to actually see, okay? So because we've turned and we have 2 stitches, the only thing that is remaining is just a decrease. So yarn over, insert your hook into the first stitch or the first loop, pull up a loop and you have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop so that you have 5 loops on the hook and pull through the 5. So this is what we have, and it is similar to this other end where we were making increases. So this is the bow tail, and we're going to make a similar piece of bow tail, and after that I will show you what we're going to do next before we attach them together. So see you once you are done with the other bow tail. So we are actually done with the second tail, and this is what we have. So we have 2 of these tails, and remember there's an option of making 1 long tail that will actually be this way and they are together, but I find it easier to make 2 separate tails and then join them together. Okay, so what we're going to do, this is the side where we had the decreases, but you can choose any side where you're going to join them together, either the starting side or the side that you ended with the decreases. So that's what I'm going to use for my case. Let me see. So I want to sew them together using my darning needle and yarn. So you can actually choose a side which when sewn together will leave some space or will go slightly apart this way, simply because we are going to connect them at this point and you don't want them to be on top of each other. I have decided to start with the side of increases. I know it may be difficult for you to notice, but this is the side that I've chosen, and I'm trying to make sure that they are side by side here. So I will attach these 2 points together. So my yarn is already on the darning needle and it's fastened at the end, okay, as you can see. So I will just take these 2 sides together. So just insert your needle. Another thing, I want to join on the from the second row going upwards. So this is where I'll start. Ensure that they are aligned. So where your row 2 is, don't do it so tightly. Okay, make sure it's flexible even after joining. Okay, I think I need like 3 stitches on 4 stitches, because this is now is it the third one or the second one? So 3 or 4 stitches would be enough. Okay, so on to the last one, which is at the tip. This is what we have. Okay, don't worry about this where the tying was, just because we're going to create another holder of the bow here. So this is what we have. I hope that is visible on your side. So the next thing that we're going to do is to use this yarn to tie it around the bow. You're going to tie as much yarn as you can around the 2 tails. Tie as much yarn as you can. Just make sure that you do not interfere with the flexibility of the 2 tails. So I had already tied my yarn several times, and I'm just adding a little more to it. It's just simply tying, okay? So I'll cut this off. I'll trim it off and tie it up. You can always fasten twice just to make sure it's tight enough. So this is what we have. Okay, so what we're going to do next is just to crochet a bow holder that will enable us to cover this part and make it appear more neat. So let me take you through how you're going to do that. So for these ends, we will either trim them off or we'll insert them back using either a darning needle or a crochet hook. So after we are done with the bow, the next step is to make a bow holder. Okay, so this bow holder is very simple to make, and we're going to make a slip knot. Let me just show you how. So we're going to make a slip knot, as you can see, and once we make a slip knot, we are going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so after chaining 4, we're going to yarn over, skip the first loop and go into the second loop and make a half double crochet. So insert your hook, pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook, and then yarn over and pull through the 3. This is what we're going to repeat for the next 2 loops that are remaining. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, you have 3 loops on the hook, and then you're going to pull through all the 3 at once. That's a half double crochet. Yarn over, go into the next loop, insert your hook, pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on the hook, and yarn over, pull through the 3. What we are going to do is to continue with the same pattern, okay? So we're just going to make another chain. So we're making something that is long enough to go around this portion. So yarn over, turn your work, yarn over and turn your work, and make half double crochets into those 3 loops that you have. So we'll continue this until we have a length that will be able to go around this bow. It might be 7 for you, it might be 10, it might be 11. So let's meet once you have a length that is about that circumference of the middle of the bow. So in the meantime, let me know how yours turned out. Okay, if you have any questions, please remember to leave them in the comment section down below. See you once we are done with this, or when we've reached a desirable length. So far I have 12 rows. This is how it's turned out. So when I try it around, this is how it looks. So we are going to sew this bit. Remember, don't make it too loose. Don't make it too loose, don't make it too tight. The whole point of this is just to make sure that it is neat, and to also give us a chance or an opportunity to be able to insert a clip here. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is to sew this together. So we're going to sew these ends together, and we're going to do that when it is around the bow. Remember, these parts that are coming off can just be trimmed, or they can be inserted into these portions that way. You want your work to look neat. Have you managed to finish yours? What specific step is giving you a challenge? Do you have another way that is probably easier in terms of making a bow tie, a hair bow? I sincerely appreciate, by the way, the love that you've shown me on my previous video. I really love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. As of this morning, I actually have over 700 views on that video. I sincerely appreciate you guys. So let's keep watching, let's keep supporting one another, keep commenting, and let's build a Yobs community, a Yobs family. That is Yarn O'Clock by Sitati. So actually, once you're done with this, you will just pull it, or you make a knot. Remember to tie it up or to tie it off. So it's easier for me because I had already used some shorter piece of yarn. Okay, but you just tie it up or tie it off, and then we're going to sew this piece together. So this piece, such that the inner portion is what will have the part that is sewn together. Yeah, you want it to appear neat. You want it to be neat. We'll insert our yarn into a darning needle. You can always use even a normal needle, but a darning needle is usually better, especially because most of them will accommodate yarn of different kinds of thickness. So this is just a simple sewing style. Of course, if you can sew a piece of cloth together, then this should be very easy for you. Okay, keep liking so that my video can be recommended to other viewers. Share, subscribe, like, comment. Let me also know if you are a beginner or if you're a master crocheter. It's that simple. Okay, don't get confused by this piece of yarn. This is just the remaining bit of what was making my bow holder. So make sure you just tighten it enough, and of course you tie it off in the best way that you know how, and trim off your yarn. So this is what we have. So we'll finish off by inserting these pieces of leftover yarn or the tail ends back into our work as neatly as possible. And I've always told you that you can use a crochet hook or you can use your darning needle. One tip, by the way, about your crochet work is that it should be very neat. So neat work is actually good for your clients and even for the representation of your work. What other tips do you have for me or for finishing when you're doing finishing for your work or your project? Let's engage in the comment section. So we'll adjust this just to make sure that these pieces of tied yarn are not visible at the bottom. Be careful when you're trimming the yarns, the pieces of yarn or the tails of the yarn. Sometimes you can do the trimming and that's the end of your work. It begins unraveling. You don't want that. But then if you notice that this yarn, the wrapped yarn is appearing beneath your work, you can feel free to either push it inside or try to stretch this band or the holder, or alternatively you can crochet another piece of yarn holder that would probably not be 3 stitches wide, probably 4 or 5, based on your liking. And this is what we have. So the last step is usually how to attach a clip, a hair clip, but that is not even a difficult thing to do, and I will show you that in the next video. So this is what we have. Our hair bow clip is ready. Wow, I really love this work and I'm proud of myself. I am so proud of myself. Thank you so much for keeping it here. Thank you for keeping it locked. Thank you for being patient with me. Thank you for subscribing and sharing and liking and commenting. So from today, actually, I'll be giving shout outs in my videos. I know there are a number of you who have commented. I may not remember your names this time, but I'll give you shout outs even when editing my videos. I may not mention you here, but I'll give you shout outs. Thank you so much for watching. I love you and see you on the next video. Bye bye. Adios. Yarn o'clock by C30.